Whew, I hated this place. I might go back to this one, but like, you'd have to pay me. I am so disappointed to have to put this one on the list. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're here for the first time. My name is Malika, I am an American expat, and I make videos about living abroad, how to do it, and what it's really like. And I've been creating a lot of content about places that are great options for African Americans who want to move abroad, but I've been getting some comments and getting asked a little bit about places that I do not recommend, that I don't think are safe, or that I think should be avoided. And while I usually don't like making negative content, I think that it is important to be honest and fully transparent about all the ups and downs that can come with expat life, especially when it comes to choosing where you want to live. So today we're going to discuss a few of the countries that I personally do not recommend for Black Americans to move to. And again, this is just based on my experience and my research. So please don't feel offended. Please don't feel like I'm bashing any of these places or trash talking someone else's country. I just think it's important to discuss multiple perspectives and multiple options. And if you don't want to hear it, feel free to skip the rest of this video. And if you don't agree, that's okay. Everyone's opinion is different. You can go off in the comments and we can discuss. But for now, we're going to get into some of the countries that I do not recommend for Black American expats. So number one, and if you watch some of my other videos, you can probably guess it's Jordan. So Jordan is renowned for its ancient wonders and amazing history, and yes, all of that is incredible. I had a really good time doing the sightseeing and touristy stuff, but after spending a week there, I can pretty definitively say I do not recommend moving there. In fact, a week was plenty of time. I felt very uncomfortable and annoyed at almost every turn. A lot of other Black expats have also experienced microaggressions, just kind of general feelings of discomfort and yuckiness, and like just feeling not very warm and welcomed. I was literally stared down at every turn. Yes, I was dressed appropriately before you asked, but it was just like a very weird, uncomfortable vibe. And so while I'm happy that I did see all the kind of once in a lifetime things, like Petra is out of this world, I don't need to go back there. I don't need to spend any kind of extended time there. Number two of the countries that I do not recommend is Egypt. And that was another one that, yeah, I was happy I went for the iconic sites. Like I was happy I saw the pyramids. I was happy I got to experience it. But again, don't need to spend more than a couple of days here. Definitely could not get me to move there. And mind you, when I was there, I was staying with friends. So I had friends who lived there who were other Americans who were like English teachers, and they mostly had other like Egyptian friends they were hanging out with. So I was in a nice little bubble of people who lived there for a few years, other Egyptian locals, everyone spoke Arabic, everyone knew the culture, and it was still very uncomfortable and strained being in that environment. The harassment was near constant. It left me mentally exhausted and just like completely drained, and really did put a damper on all the amazing things that I got to see and experience. Like it was just not the vibe. And again, after a few days, I was like, yep, I'm good. There are still some sites I wanted to see. Like I could maybe be convinced to go back to Luxor or to like Sharm el Sheikh, the resort towns, but that would be like a pretty big upsell to get me to go. There's just like a lot of like bucket list places to travel that don't involve the dramas, so I just decided to abstain. And also, please don't think I just don't like the Middle East, because I adore Morocco. I've been multiple times. I'm dying to go to Tunisia. I can't wait to go to Oman. Lived in Lebanon for 3 years. Like you can see my wall behind me. This is an homage to my time in Beirut. I'd be back on the plane in a second. Like that's how much I loved it. It was just those two places were just not for me. So number three, Ukraine. Even before everything that happened with the invasion in 2022, that one was kind of like hit or miss in terms of feedback from Black American expats who live there. I've never been there, so this one I'm kind of going less off of experience and more off of research, things I've read on like all the expat forums that I'm quite active in. Some people said, yeah, it's fulfilling, we have a good time. It was a lot less so than other places you could have considered in Western Europe. So if you're already moving abroad and kind of narrowing down your choices, there's just easier, more welcoming places you could go to. And personally, I will never forget the way that we all found time for racism and the treatment of Black expats who were trying to evacuate during the war. Like even in time of a huge crisis, we still found time for it. So for me, it's a no. Number 4, Italy, and this one actually pains me to put on the list because I lived there for 3 years and I had such an amazing time, but I just think that the way things have changed, your experience would be very different than mine. There's been a huge rise in ultra-conservative politicians and anti-immigrant sentiment, and so I just think that, yeah, like while I had a great time, the environment is just so different now, so I don't think you'd be received the same way just because of how things have changed. I would still say it's safe to visit. I've definitely been back on vacation and enjoyed it, so I would still recommend going on vacation as a tourist. But if you're considering a move for an opportunity, the best I can say is maybe focus on like the bigger, more international cities like Milan. And country number 5 is Spain, which is another hard one because I love Spain so much. I've been at least 5 or 6 times and always have a blast. But again, it's just very different now than it was before. Now there's just like this huge and very intense anti-tourist, anti-immigrant, anti-foreigner backlash, especially in the major cities. And so I think that while none of that is necessarily directed at Black people, you could feel that it were, and you wouldn't feel that kind of warm welcome that we would want. Very likely you'll be met with hostility and just not welcomed at all for larger issues that have nothing to do with you. But I would just personally avoid it. Again, probably safe to go back to for vacation. Probably not the major cities like Barcelona that are kind of the core and the hub of the protests, but other places might be okay for a couple of days for travel, but I don't think I'd recommend moving there. And number 6, several parts of the US. That's right, surprise, surprise, America is the OG racist, let's not forget. And just because I'm an American doesn't mean they get to be off this list, okay? There are a lot of cities, states, and counties that I would not even set a toe in, much less move to, because of the deep-rooted racism, and also partially it's an economic boycott in terms of the lack of human rights for women, and also the way that children are being conditioned to grow up expecting a certain type of violence. I can't say it because I don't want this video to get censored, but y'all know what I mean. So anyway, those are the countries that, in my opinion, are not very friendly for Black expats and that you should reconsider moving to if they've been on your list. And that is just my opinion. If you are offended, I apologize in advance. Everyone is going to think and feel differently. Please don't come for me. It is one woman's opinion. But I'd also be curious, so let me know in the comments, like, which places are no-goes for you? Like, where would you never move? Or where do you really want to move? And what would you like to learn more about moving abroad in general? Give me some ideas for my next video. And if you like this one, please consider subscribing to this channel. Hoping to get to 6,000 followers pretty soon, so any love you can show me to help me get to that goal would be appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.